Hey everyone, we're talking about Split Second from BlackRock Studios. Of course, these are the guys that did Pure last year. We're joined by Nick Baines. Nick, you guys are now doing street racing, right?
That's right, yeah.
So tell me about the evolution of this game. Pure, obviously an off-road game. A new look for BlackRock because you guys have done MotoGP in the past.
Yeah.
Now you're taking it to the streets, but it's not just a racing game, right?
That's right. So what we wanted to do with Split Second was really, do something that hadn't really been seen before in the racing genre. And we just felt that, something that hadn't really been tapped into yet was actually having a dynamic track where the actual track changes while you race through it. So that's really where the idea from Split Second came from, trying to take that new perspective on racing.
So we see this absolutely insane course that hopefully people will be able to see pretty soon.
Yeah.
But tell me about going through a single lap. So much can happen in one of these races.
Sure, that's right. So the track we've been showing you today is based around an airport. So as you were playing it, obviously, as you were driving around and you were drifting and you were overtaking other cars, you're actually filling what we call the power bar. And when that was full enough, you can use your power button. And that actually triggers these giant action events around the track. So, for example, as you maybe have one lap around the track, you might find that initially there's like coaches and cars, you've got control towers falling down, building fronts exploding, even planes crash landing on the track, right? So really the whole idea is a non-stop roller coaster ride of adrenaline and excitement.
Now, with these power play moments, these are basically, it adds a strategic element to the races. There's two types, right? There's big and small. Can you give us a distinction and when you can use them?
Sure. So the actual power bar is split into 3 segments. And each segment triggers a regular power play. So the regular power plays, which are the action events, they're kind of smaller in scale. So they might be, for example, a coach blowing up across the track, or for example, a helicopter dropping an explosive on the car ahead of the car in front of you. So they're pretty explosive, pretty action-packed sequences. But generally, they're localized to just say quite a small area, and it might take out 1 or 2 cars. Now, when you've got your whole bar full, you can actually trigger what we're calling a super power play, which actually drains your whole bar in one hit, but has much more spectacular effects, which is where you might find you actually open a whole new route through the track, or it might be a blast or destroying part of the road.
What I found in playing it myself was that these things affect not only the cars ahead of you, but sometimes they affect the guys behind you, right?
That's right, yeah. So it's that whole balance of, it's kind of like, to use the expression that I said to you earlier, it's almost like dropping the banana skin behind you, yeah? And sometimes you're firing something ahead of you. But, it really is just trying to make sure the player always feels like they're in the middle of the action. So the game's actually set around the backstory of a TV show. So you're actually racing through episodes of this show. So what we're going to do, when you first unlock a track, not all of the power plays will be there. So as you've seen, it's still pretty chaotic what's going on. But we're holding some stuff back. So as you then progress further through the game, when you revisit those tracks again later on, you actually find that there's newer, bigger power plays to trigger, which might open a whole new route.
Now, of course, we talked about the power play, we've talked about all the destruction, but this being a racing game, a lot of people are going to wonder about the cars and the handling and that kind of thing. What can you tell us about that? Okay,
so the cars are all made up for the game. We decided that so we could really do whatever we wanted for them, and also to kind of fit the idea of them being designed for the TV show, that we'd actually design them ourselves. And the cars, the handling of the cars, we've kept it pretty arcadey. And there is a certain subtlety and depth to it. So if you really want to, if you are a hardcore player, there's certainly a good learning curve there. But we didn't want, there's a lot going on, right? We don't want the player having to worry too much about breaking points when there's a building falling down in front of them. It's kind of, they've got enough to worry about.
I know this is early goings, but can you tell us anything about online?
I can tell you there will be online. And basically what we're doing with online is we think is pretty innovative, and I'm looking forward to being able to tell you about it later in the year.
All right, looking forward to it. When is Split Second coming out, and what platform?
Sure, so Split Second's out in February 2010 on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC.
February 2010, we'll be looking for Split Second.